host, Shawnee B, and today's show is In the Spotlight. And we have a special guest, Richard Harmon's with us. And we're going to talk to him a little bit and let y'all hear what he's got to share with you. And we also have Calvin DuPont, who's going to join him on a few songs. And when you guys hear them, you're going to want to hear more because Calvin is also a musician, and we will be interviewing him at a later date. And you'll just have to tune in and catch that one in the future. All right. Richard, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you grew up.
I grew up everywhere. I was born in North Carolina up around Goldsboro, but I've never seen that place because my father was military and we moved constantly.
Right.
Lived in Georgia, and most of my family's from around North Carolina, the western part of North Carolina.
Well, that's a good place to be from, though, isn't it? There's lots of good music up that way.
Lots of good music. And I come from a family of music. My grandfather, he had a radio show in the 30s.
Oh man, that's very cool.
I got one little recording of it on a steel record. That's not a 78 record.
Oh man.
And I get to listen to it every once in a while. It's pretty funny.
That's cool. He played guitar or?
Yeah, he was a guitarist.
Gotcha.
He played around with a lot of folks. I think he played with Arthur Smith one time, if you ever heard of him.
Right.
And but he was a great musician. Never did get to really play with him much because he passed before I got back to the United States. We were in the Philippines, and that's where I started playing guitar at.
Gotcha. How old were you when you started?
I was 11 years old.
Oh man.
It was kind of an odd thing because in the Philippines, on military bases, we lived off base, and the only radio stations that were pretty much in English was Armed Forces Radio, and they only played classic music, old rock and roll, 50s rock and roll and stuff like that back in the 70s. And one thing that got me interested was Buddy Holly. When he put Buddy Holly on the radio, they'd play Old Boy or That'll Be Today, and that was I said, I can learn that. Peggy Sue was one of the first ones to learn.
Wow. Now, did you take lessons, or did you just you were able to just pick it up by ear?
It was like this. I listened to he got interested in doing that. And then there was a guy across the street that they called them Sorry Star store, but it's like a convenience store. They carried a little bit of everything: cigarettes, beer, food, and vegetables, fresh produce, stuff like that. They had a little bar there. Well, there was this guy who was a drug addict, and he would sit there and play guitar. He's a Filipino guy, and he would play James Taylor, "You Got a Friend." He was playing that one day, and I happened to walk by because I always went there and bought my bubble gum, 11 years old. But anyway, I walked by and watched him playing the James Taylor song. He played it perfectly. It sounded just like the record except for his accent. And, you got a friend, but between that and the Armed Forces Radio, and my dad had a friend that came over and showed me some chords. My dad had a guitar too. That's what he used his guitar, and he showed me a couple of chords. And I went in my room and went to what I call woodshedding around.
Right.
And so that was my start playing guitar.
I gotcha. Well, that's good. You come from a family that is definitely musically inclined, and I'm sure that helps. And do you play out around Walterboro area very much?
Yeah, I play here, and I go to different places and play every now and then. Not regular. I haven't in several years, but around at this place and a couple of bluegrass get-togethers.
I gotcha.
Because when I started music, I started in rock and roll and played that until I was about 18, 19, and I met a fellow who pulled me into bluegrass. He was my insurance agent. He stopped by the house one day, saw my guitar laying on the couch, and he picked it up and started flat picking these bluegrass songs. And that just fascinated me too. So for about 34 years, me and him hung out, and he taught me all kind of bluegrass stuff, and he would drag me around to all these bluegrass festivals. I didn't know anybody. I met a lot of neat people along the way.
Right.
Because they were, because he grew up with Ralph Stanley and Stanley Brothers.
Wow.
And I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But we'd go talk to him sometimes at like at Myrtle Beach, and like, hello Don, hello Ralph, and they'd go back and forth talking, and I just shook his hand. I said, well, he's a pretty good mandolin player,
Right.
banjo player. Banjo player. And all these musicians I met along the way, I didn't realize how popular they were in their business until I got older. And I wish I would have had a camera then to collect some of the memories.
But did you play in any bands during your time growing up with the music?
Yeah. Well, the one I just recently, we had a little garage band at home. I had a three-piece band, and we played. Mostly we stayed around the house all the time. We never get out and play anywhere much. And then I was a part of a gospel group when I was married. We played in many, many churches around this area, Somerville and Charleston. And we also, then I played in a group called Podunk. Podunk in the Pines.
Oh man.
And we would play a lot of third Thursdays. We played all on Dog Green and some of the bars in Charleston around Somerville and
That
coffee
was
houses.
bluegrass.
No, it was Americana.
I got you. You play a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I wasn't a bluegrass band called a Bluegrass Entertainers. There were a lot of folks in that band, and it was a neat thing.
Well, that's cool. It's always great when you can get with other people and collaborate and just have a good time and sometimes get paid for it.
And that was the thing, it's with music. It's music levels a playing field. And people ask me who I play with. I said I played with everybody between ditch dig. I can't even say it now. I played with everybody from ditch diggers to doctors and lawyers, and their level, they weren't always on the same level. Sometimes they were better than me and sometimes better than them. But there's always a common ground of music. And that's the neat thing about music, because it's levels the playing fields in a lot of ways. Playing field in a lot of ways.
Well, that sounds almost like a song, ditch diggers to doctors. But you are also a songwriter, correct?
Yes. I've written. I was going through songs last night, and I've written more than I've got here.
How many songs you think you've written?
30, 40 probably.
Cool.
I try to pick out some of my better ones for when I play out. I don't play many of my songs out in public because I don't think people get them.
Well, today we want you to play us a couple songs here and tell us a little bit about each one before you play it, and if it's original or if it's by somebody and what it's about. So go ahead and take off and play a couple, and we'll come back to you for a few more questions.
I'm going to get a drink of water here in a minute.
I'm going to join.
This one, I told you I had a band when I was younger, and the bass player, and he was one of my friend's brother, and he wanted me to teach him how to play the bass. He was a real good guy. He played down at he played with a gospel group, and he also worked as a prison guard at Lieber. And he was killed by a train. He was walking to the store to get him some chewing tobacco, and he never came home. And then found out we think somebody beat him up and put him on the tracks, and he was killed by a train. But I won't go get too carried away into that. But he a couple of weeks later, about a week or so later, because I had to help out with a lot of the arrangements and things. A couple of weeks later, I woke up in the middle of the night. I lived in Somerville behind Town Hall, and the train would come through town, and it would rattle the windows. I lived in an old house, and the windows weren't very sturdy, stable. But train come by and started rattling the windows and woke me up in the middle of the night. And I sat up, and it was on my mind, this song I'm about to play. It's called Blues Train.
All right.
And so I just sit down and wrote it down real quick. And I always say my friend Gary was connected to that song. I mean, it has nothing to do about him, but he's connected to that song because, you know, that was still on my mind. And,
Right.
And a lot of people say they like it when I play it. So, and if I can get Mr. Calvin to play.
Calvin's a harmonica player and a guitar player. He's going to accompany him.
She gets me down in the blues and I don't care to ride that train. She gets me down in the blues and I don't care to ride that train. She done bought me that ticket, bound for heartache and pain. Think we need to pour on a little bit more coal. She gets me down in them blues and I don't care to ride that train. She gets me down in them blues and I don't care to ride that train. She done bought me that ticket, bound for heartache. It's a long steel rail and I see no end in sight. It's a long steel rail and I see no end in sight. But that train engine rumble morning, day and night. Okay there, Calvin. Well, I asked that porter, when can I get it off? Oh, I asked that engineer, where can I get it off? They said, I'm sorry, son, this train don't ever stop. She gets me down in them blues and I don't care to ride that train. Down in them blues and I don't care to ride that train. But she done bought me that ticket, bound for heartache and pain. Come on, Calvin. But she's down in them blues and I don't care to ride that train. She gets me down in them blues and I don't care to ride that train. But she done bought me that ticket, bound for heartache and pain.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I love that one. I've heard that one a few times, but it's one of my favorites.
A lot of people ask me about that one.
When you write, does it just come to you like you said you sat down and just wrote that song in a night? Or does it sometimes take longer? Or
Well, that was one of them, I call it like a special thing, because sometimes they just kind of
fall in your lap?
Fall in your lap. And I woke up, wrote it down, and went back to sleep. I mean, it was just a matter of 10, 15 minutes maybe.
So sometimes the words come first and then you do the music, or sometimes the music comes first?
It all comes at the same time.
Wow. That's awesome.
I mean, there's a couple of times I try to cram things together, but they sound like they're crammed together.
Right.
And everything just got to work. But most of the time they come, the words, they'll dictate the music a lot of times when you're writing songs.
Right.
At least in my brain.
Right. And everybody's different, right? But that's quite a talent, though, to be able to have the music come right along with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll play us another one. Let's see what y'all got.
Are you ready for another one?
Yeah, man. This
thought they were ready to run us out of here.
This show is about putting you guys in the spotlight, and we're trying to bring in all the local talent around here and give them a chance for people to see what they have, and if you guys are available probably for parties.
I'm always available for a party now.
Oh, Lord.
That's pretty close, eh?
That's pretty close.
What you gonna do?
There's I'm trying to keep all these songs a little bit on the up-tempo side. I got a couple downers in there. But this one I always like to play on words. When you hear country music, and you always hear a lot of play on words and titles, song titles. And this one's sort of more of a crafted song here, because they all came at once. I labored over this one more. I just didn't put this. But this one's called "You Didn't See Me See You," and there's one word you might blip out depending on. But depending on how it's taken. But I don't care. That's why I meant it.
I love it.
But music is funny. Music can affect your mood. That's one thing I like about music to start with, because it affects how it's like you could hear a song, and you be somewhere, and something is happening, whether it be a real happy something or a real sad something. But whenever you hear that song later on, it'll bring back that memory of that time and that spot where you were at.
That's true.
And that's one thing I always loved about writing music. If you could, I always thought, man, if I could write a song that a lot of people would just like and enjoy and remember it, because yourself growing up, there's different tunes you've heard that stir emotions within inside yourself. And that's always been my fascination with music. And when I was married, my ex was studying music therapy, and we would sometimes we would go to there's a couple times we went to assisted living homes with older people with Alzheimer's and dementia, and it was kind of fascinating to me that these people, sometimes they wouldn't know their own family, or sometimes don't think they would remember their own name. But if you played a song from their era, they could sing word for word right along with you sometimes. And I always thought music has got to be a pretty special thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. It's a great creative outlet as well, when people are going through things, to, a way to get feelings out. Writing music or playing somebody else's song that may relate to what they're going through.
Somebody asked me once, were you feeling that when you wrote that? And I said, no, I was pretty happy. A lot of times I write a different emotion. If I'm feeling really down, I write something happy. But if I'm, I guess it's dyslexia or whatever. Okay. This is called You Didn't See Me See You. It's a guy who's confronting his girlfriend because he saw her out one night when he was out. She wasn't where she was supposed to be. She was out with somebody else.
Oh, that ain't a good thing.
So he's confronting her at her door. The darkness I'm feeling now whenever you come my way. Cast the shadows on my heart, put the tears on my face. But you're wondering why I'm acting this way. You did see me see you late last night. Had a briar paddle back and baby you were looking your best. With your high heels on and decked out in a tight blue dress. Bet you're wondering how I knew all of this. You did see me see you late last night. I thought we had no secrets. I thought you'd never tell me a lie. But now I'm having regrets ever since I saw you last night. Well, I bet you're wondering why I'm starting to cry. Well, you did see me see you late last night. You forgot your part.
Oh, I forgot.
That's alright. Well, we had no secrets, I thought you'd never tell me a lie. But now I'm having regrets ever since I saw you last night. Well, I bet you're wondering why I'm starting to cry. You did see me see you late last night. You're looking at him like you don't look at me anymore. You were laughing and dancing and acting like a $2 whore. Wondering how I found out the score. Well, you did see me see you late last night. I thought we had no secrets, I thought you'd never tell me a lie. Now I'm having regrets ever since our last night. Bet you're wondering why I'm walking out the door. Well, you did see me see you late last night. Well, I bet you're wondering how I found out the score. Well, you did see me see you late last night.
Nice.
And that's a
good one. Now, do you use social media to promote your music, or?
oh yeah.
And
I
how would-
use a lot of times. First, I test them out on Facebook. If I get a good response, I put them on my YouTube page.
Okay, and how would people find your YouTube page?
You go to I had that written down. It's R Harmon. Wait a minute, I'll come back and look that
Okay.
up for you because it's
And we'll add that on as a tag on the bottom of the show, guys. If y'all want to check him out or get in touch with him, we'll have his email down there too. So, well, cool. Play us a few more.
But you know, going after music, I think as far as music and the way I play, a lot of times, most of it comes from a lot of bluegrass. And you know, like I said, my early stuff was rockabilly and rock and roll and stuff like that. And but playing 34 years in bluegrass is sort of like a syncopated rhythm. And bluegrass, they kind of depend on the guitar to be like a snare drum. You know, it's like a lot of times you don't hear a guitar in bluegrass unless it's, you know, it's flat picking. You know. what they call it was the lead playing. And so the next song I did, it's sort of, I could either do the folk song or a song called Tonight. So
You do whatever you want to play.
do whatever.
You can do both of them.
Well, I might just be there. The song Tonight, it was written, I actually wrote this for a girl. And I played it to her one night. I said, I wrote this for you, honey. And she goes, you're a damn liar. I said, well, what can I say to that?
Yeah,
I guess,
tried.
well, let me lie this song to you. I done beat the tune out of it. Close enough. No wonder she called me a liar, because I'm playing the wrong song. Eyes so warm and touch so soft. Please don't leave me alone tonight. Feeling something that's growing so strong. I can see it in your eyes tonight. Come to me, let me show you my love. I will do you no wrong. I will promise you now and forever, if you give me your heart tonight. Kisses sweet and warm on my skin. Want you here in my dreams tonight. We can leave this lonely world behind. Build this one filled with love tonight. Come to me, let me show you my love. I will do you no wrong. I will promise you now and forever, if you give me your heart. If you give me your love tonight.
That's pretty.
But I'm a damn liar. Say the whole song out of tune. There you go.
Well, it still sounded good. Still sounded good.
But
Well, did she ever believe you about it after that?
no, I hadn't talked to her since.
Oh, my
Had to move on after that.
Well, I guess that's one way. If you're dating one you want to get rid of, you just write a certain song and you might get rid of it.
Write a song. Then you see how they really feel about you.
Oh, man.
The normal guy normal girl would be going, oh, that was just beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I'm going in my head. But it's
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why she wouldn't have liked that song, but anyway, maybe you're better off without her if she didn't.
Oh, I certainly am.
Oh, man.
I wrote a song one time. I was going through my Bruce Springsteen phase, and he had recorded an album called Nebraska, and he did it on a 4-track, and I had a 4-track just like his Tascam 144. I said, why can't I record a good folk song? And so I started writing this song, and it's called The Wedding. I went to I introduced this friend of mine we used to go out with. I introduced her to her husband. It's been about 40 years ago. They're still married.
Oh, that's great.
Well, that's over 40, well, over 30 some years. I won't say 40, it may not be 40 now. But the night I introduced them, I thought it was pretty cool because they just kind of clicked up, and they, like I said, they've been 3 kids in 30 some years now. So, but I went to their wedding, and I thought, what if some poor slug went to a wedding? He was in love with the bride, he was still in love with her. They had a hot thing going, and so that's what this song is about. So I wrote that soon after I left the wedding. I was inspired.
I was going to say, writing a song called The Wedding sometimes really could chase a girl off. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to hearing it.
But this was more like, I would study Bruce Springsteen songs, and he said, I don't picture care, but anyway, he writes songs, and they would sound like he was just telling a story. And that's what this one is supposed to be, just a story. Okay. A story kind of folk song. I guess that's what a lot of folk songs are like, like
right.
Blowing in the wind and all that.
Exactly.
Okay. Let me get this in the right.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Mm-hmm. You didn't see that, did you?
What key?
C. Let's see if we're there. You're in tune there.
I'm in tune. I hope so, because I can't adjust these reeds.
Need to tweak that one on the left side. Okay. He put a ring on her finger as the reverend said a prayer. The church was so quiet now, as if no one was there. Rest is the union of these spirits today. May no man put asunder in any way. I sat there and wondered how long they would last. My heart felt like thunder as they walked past. I recall the time when I was her one. The visions I saw just made me feel numb. through the night with unending desire. I gave you my love, you still have it today. But just like night, yours fading away. Church was so quiet now, all the people had gone. Just noise into the distance, I sat there alone, bowed my head, silent prayer. Lord, save my soul, you're still there. That was a wedding song.
Well, how long have you and Calvin played music together?
Oh, about
20 minutes. I met him on the way up here.
met him out there in the lounge.
Pick him up hitchhiking.
There we go.
I've been hearing that one
No,
lately.
I've known Calvin probably almost a few months now. We ran into each other at these open mics, and one night at a Mexican restaurant, we sat down, and he did one. I started harmonizing with him, and he says, "Well, that sounds all right." So we
guys
did
do
a few more
compliment
times, and we're
each other.
still doing it.
You compliment each other very well.
Well, thank you.
Every time I hear y'all play together,
You're a nice
it's always
man.
a treat.
I pay you well.
I'm complimenting you.
Well, we have time for a few more songs, and before we close out, and if you're just tuning in, we have Richard Harmon here with us, and Calvin DuPont accompanying him on the harmonica. So we have time for about three more songs, I reckon, and we'll close it out. Is there any special performance or time that you played that really sticks out in your mind? Was one of the favorite times, or something funny or special?
Well, there's a lot of times that have been special. Music special, sometimes, all musicians know this, is that there are certain nights, like somebody might say all the stars line up right and all the moon's right and everything, but there's certain nights when musicians, they all click together when they're in a group. And I can think of a few nights playing gospel, bluegrass, and even with Calvin and Walter, that things just clicked. And when they do click like that, the music's really nice and people notice it more.
Right.
And you notice, and it's kind of like when you're playing music a lot of times, you're interacting with the audience. And you have to be mindful of that all the time, that your audience, that's why you're there for, you're entertaining those folks.
That's right.
You're trying to, like when I'm playing my own songs, I like to try to give it the best I can so they could say, "Oh, I like that song." And it's neat after a while when you play those songs, like the Blues Train song, you look out in the audience, you see people mumbling the words, you can see the lips moving to the words, and that says, "Wow, I did something there," and they must like it. But that doesn't happen too often. But, as far as playing with people, I've played with a banjo player one time. He was he was a prodigy. He was on the Jim Ed Brown show many years ago, and his name was Carlton Stell. And the man was amazing on the banjo. And we were sitting there after a song, and I had the privilege of playing with him. He said, "What are we going to play next?" And I was just sitting there going, "You want to play that one?" And I said, "Sure." But he got to flying into that thing, and it's like another friend of mine. He was running it up the pear tree.
Oh, man.
But he says all the time, but he was just going to town. I was just trying to hang on. But I was grinning hard.
Had that banjo smoking, huh?
Mm-hmm. That was one of the good times that we really got to play. And then some of the, I can say, I don't know if you ever heard of Uncle Dave Macon.
No, I haven't.
He was one of the originals on the Grand Ole Opry many years ago. I got to play with his great-great-grandson, Dave Macon the third, at one time, and he was a good banjo player too, and pretty good guy. And we played at one of these political things, and that was kind of a lot of fun there. But no, I don't know. I think just playing with different people all the time, and my friends and people I enjoy playing with, like Calvin, you. Right. That's always a pleasure to me. I mean, that's my biggest thrill in music, just enjoying playing for people and making a good sound, nice, sweet sound.
It's magical, isn't it, when it all comes together?
It is.
And somebody doesn't even have to be able to speak the language to just come in.
Mm-hmm.
They could be a foreigner coming by that just picked up an instrument and joins in, and it's kind of like a universal language, really.
Yeah, because I was like, I was in France for a month one time, and the guy I was working with, the French guy I was working with, his wife played guitar. She brought it out, so we played, and she didn't speak English, but she could play Beatles songs.
Oh, man, cool.
And so we worked back and forth playing out Beatles songs. He translated, and that worked that way. And it was the same when I went to Brazil for a month or so. And I met a lot of musicians down there, and they wanted to hear American music where I was at, and so I would play my brand of music, and it was closer to their brand of country music, because they have a brand of music in Brazil called country music that's just, it sounds a lot similar to ours, but it's kind of like what I play too.
Gotcha. That's cool.
And so
close us out with two more, and then we'll wrap it up.
I wrote this one. This is one of these kind of silly songs that come out of nowhere. I wrote this with Johnny Cash in mind, because I had a cold that night. I was singing a lot of Johnny Cash songs, and it was like, how your voice gets real low, But so I wrote this song just because of the situation, and it's called "I Don't Want You Back Here No More." And if I can remember it all, which I said, well, I would tell this to Johnny Cash if he was still alive. And I said, I was too late. Uh-oh. Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah.
But it broke my heart when you told me a lie. Didn't come home at all last night. It's 5 a.m. and you're pounding on my door. Before you tell another lie, better listen to what I say. I don't want you back here no more. When we first met, I thought it was cool, and I felt the things that I like to do. Wonder why you treat me so bad. When I think about the plans we made, how you threw them all away. I don't want you back here no more. rise and love and leave. There's nothing else that I will do for you. Call your cab if you want me to. Never mind, I already have. Well, there's nothing more to say. Take that cab, be on your way. I don't want you back here no more. Well, I'm cutting you loose today. Take that cab, be on your way. I don't want you back here no more. No, I don't want you back here no more.
That does sound like something Johnny was saying, doesn't it?
The storyline. Good story.
You know, if you're writing music, you find people that you like. Or at least I do. I find people that I like and I study their writing. I've always wanted to write songs like Roger Miller. If you ever heard of him. Dang me, he'll take a rope and hang me. And other songwriters I looked at it like Roy Orbison, how he writes stuff, and I study. Even Jimmy Buffett, and because these people that really made these big hits out of them, and you think about
some of them are three-chord songs.
Most all of them are 3 chords in a story.
Mm-hmm.
And and Hank Williams Sr. I used to do a lot of Hank Williams Sr. songs. They called him the hillbilly Shakespeare. And that's the way. But I guess maybe I listen to music differently from some other, like the average listener listens to music and they want to sing the song. They like the beat, they like the groove, they can dance to it. I'm studying it, and I said, well, how can I fit that? I study music like
Analyzing it.
analyzing
Nothing
the
wrong with
words, how do they put. A great writer is Jim Croce.
that. Oh gosh, yeah, I love him.
If you look at some of the songs he's written and did, and because he could, and I always try to think of it. You got, average songs 2.5 minutes. You got to focus when you're writing something that has to begin and end in 2.5 minutes. You got to tell a story.
That's right.
And have a picture in someone's mind before the end of that 2.5 minutes.
And make them feel something.
Make them feel something if you can.
That's right. That's right.
And make me feel like a damn liar.
That old gal, maybe she'll hear this, and she missed out because you're quite a nice fellow, I'll tell you that.
She don't know, y'all don't know this, that I'm paying her for saying stuff like that. My most recent song, it kind of came out of a strange situation, but I like the song anyway. And I was coming home one night dodging deer. That night happened to be about like a herd of deer, about 15 or 16 of them, and I was just kind of talking in my phone, writing this piece of music down as I was going home from your house, actually.
Right.
And because we were all having a big gathering there, and all of a sudden, this will work. But I'm still not sure if I'm actually finished this song, but I like it the way it is. But it seems like I need to add a little more. The recording I made of it's on my Facebook page, and I have piano in it and bass and little lead parts, and it sounds a lot more full. But I'll do it on guitar, and it still comes across, I guess. I don't need the moon, see the light in your eyes. I think we both can see what grows between you and I. This sky's so hazy, and it may sound crazy, I don't need the moon to tell me what I know. Whistling of the wind whispers secrets in the night. Touch of your warm hand, oh, this feels so right. Feeling steady growing, it ain't no surprise. I don't need the moon to tell us what we know. Holding you so near, my lips find you in the dark, and the only sound we hear is the rhythms of our hearts. Music flows between us as we dance in the dark. I don't need the moon to tell me what I know. I don't need the moon. I don't need the
Yeah, I love that song.
No, thank you.
That's one of my other favorites that you do. Well, I sure do appreciate you coming here, my friend. And
Well, it was a pleasure sitting down and talking with you and
yeah, Calvin,
getting
thank
picked
you.
with Calvin and
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Mr. Engineer back there.
yeah. And thank you all you guys for listening in. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is closing out for In the Spotlight with Shawnee B. And we'll catch you next week. Thanks again. All right.